Senator Durbin.
Thank you, Chairman, and welcome back.
You bet. Glad to be back.
Congratulations to the nominees. I thank the Chairman for his accommodation and shifting the time of this hearing because of a conflict earlier today. I hope it didn't cause great inconvenience to the families and friends of our nominees. At the outset, I want to join the Chairman in addressing the shooting over the weekend at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. As I've said many times before, there is no excuse for political violence from the right or the left. I'm grateful to the Secret Service for protecting the attendees and the President and quickly apprehending the suspect. I'm relieved the agent who was shot was protected by his bulletproof vest and appears to be moving toward recovery. Turning to today's hearing, the nominees before us are being considered for lifetime appointments to the federal bench. Judges are truly the bulwark for the rule of law, which has never been more important as this administration has weaponized the Justice Department against political targets. Last week, we learned the FBI investigated a New York Times journalist. Why was this journalist investigated? Because she reported that the FBI director, Kash Patel, was using FBI resources to provide his girlfriend with security and transportation. The FBI agents went so far as to recommend an investigation into whether the reporter broke federal stalking laws by seeking to interview the director of the FBI's girlfriend. Yesterday, DOJ brought its second baseless indictment against former FBI Director James Comey. Now, I may not be a big fan of Mr. Comey politically, but this is really unusual. This prosecution was personally ordered by the President of the United States, who it appears will never forgive Mr. Comey for overseeing the investigation as to whether there was any Russian interference in the 2016 election. This is a second attempt of this administration to indict this man. The President's obsession with the Russia investigation has also led to the Justice Department's investigation of a so-called, quote, grand conspiracy against him. This far-fetched MAGA theory claims that Deep State has been involved in a conspiracy against President Trump that began with the intelligence assessment with Russia, who it was claimed was interfering in the 2016 election, and continued through Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation. We spend meeting after meeting of this committee to talk about Jack Smith's investigation. Ironically, Mr. Smith, who has agreed to appear before this committee months ago and to testify and answer all questions under oath, has never been called by the Republican majority in the Senate. Inconveniently for grand conspiracy advocates, then Senator Marco Rubio led a bipartisan intelligence committee investigation that found what he called, quote, irrefutable evidence of Russian meddling in the election. Another problem is the investigation of Special Counsel John Durham, appointed during the first Trump administration to investigate the Russian investigation. Trump promised Durham would uncover, quote, the crime of the century, but he spent 4 years and millions of dollars to no avail. No matter, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is forging ahead in a desperate attempt to placate the president. The first step was venue shopping. The Justice Department opened this investigation in Fort Pierce, Florida. Why Fort Pierce, Florida? Because MAGA loyalist Aileen Cannon is the only federal judge sitting in that courthouse. So she has been known to rubber stamp the Justice Department's investigative steps. Next, the Justice Department sidelined career prosecutors and installed loyalists who are willing to pursue this baseless investigation. Earlier this month, MAGA loyalist Joe DeGeneva was sworn in as counsel to the Attorney General to help lead the, quote, grand conspiracy, close quote, investigation. Mr. DeGeneva was appointed after the senior career prosecutor in charge of the investigation was abruptly removed. Mr. DeGeneva previously claimed the Russian investigation was a plot to frame President Trump. Mr. DeGeneva was also part of the legal team led by Rudy Giuliani that aimed to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Last week, Acting Attorney General Blanche met with Mr. DeGenova in South Florida to discuss the case and posted on social media, quote, "Welcome to the fight, Joe." This administration's lawless conduct makes clear that it's never been more important for judges who are dedicated and committed to the law without fear or favor. Will these nominees be independent in their thinking or a rubber stamp? Will they defend the rule of law? There'll be questions that will be asked to get to the bottom of those questions. I yield the floor.